Many people believe that the first $100,000 or even the first $1 million are the most important milestones in building wealth. But what often gets overlooked is that you've already reached the most crucial milestone with just $10,000. Why is that? In this video, we'll explore 5 reasons why everything changes once you hit $10,000. Did you know that 60% of people under 30 have a net worth of barely anything at all? This shows just how difficult those first $10,000 really are to save. Anyone who has tried to put money aside knows it's not easy. We live in a consumer society designed to let us satisfy our desires instantly. One click and most of our wants are fulfilled, whether it's a new phone, a vacation, or a spontaneous weekend trip. All you need is money. And if you don't have money, you can borrow it or use a credit card. So it's no surprise that a significant portion of people seeking help from debt counseling services have consumer debt from online shopping. This suggests that many people are living beyond their means. But even if you manage to set aside money every month, it's easy to lose motivation. If you save $100 per month, it takes more than 8 years to reach your first $10,000. However, once you've broken through that barrier, you know exactly how hard it was to get there, and you'll handle money much more consciously afterward. You develop what we might call a new mindset. Of course, the first $10,000 doesn't mean you're financially set for life. This isn't where wealth building stops. It's just the first step of many. Especially considering the retirement gap, the difference between your government pension and what you'll actually need in old age, it becomes clear how important long-term saving and investing really is. Today, roughly a quarter of all retirees have to get by with less than $1,200 per month. Given our aging society, this situation is expected to get significantly worse. For many people, the long-term goal is far beyond $10,000, often even beyond $100,000. Yet many underestimate how quickly you can actually build wealth. Imagine you save $100 every month and invest it in the market. If you invest your savings at an inflation-adjusted annual return of just 7%, you'll reach your goal in 6 years and 7 months, instead of the 8 years it would take without investing. But what happens after that? You might think it will take another 6 years and 7 months to reach the next $10,000, but here's the crucial difference. Your money is now starting to work for you. The returns keep growing, and your wealth begins to snowball faster and faster. This is called the compounding effect. You'll reach the next $10,000 much quicker, in just 4 years and 6 months. Going from $20,000 to $30,000 takes only 3 years and 6 months. The time intervals keep shrinking, and with the power of compound interest, your wealth grows exponentially until that final step from $90,000 to $100,000 takes just 1 year and 4 months, all without increasing your monthly savings. At that point, your wealth grows by $500 every month just from returns alone. Your $100 savings rate barely matters anymore for further wealth building. To reach this point, a savings rate of 10 to 15% of your income is an excellent target. Studies also show that people with growing wealth often make better investment decisions. But many beginners make a critical mistake. They focus too much on relative returns. Typical stock market returns range between 7 and 10% per year. What many investors overlook is what actually matters. Here's an example. With $10,000, a 10% annual return earns you $1,000 in profit. With a smaller investment of just $1,000, you'd only make $100. Even if you took much higher risks with that $1,000 and achieved 20% returns in the first year, your absolute gain would only be $200.
This is why $10,000 is such an important milestone. From this point on, you can finally achieve noticeably significant absolute gains. So don't overthink different investment options at the beginning. Whether you earn 8%, 10%, or 12% returns matters little at the start. A broadly diversified global index fund is completely sufficient. Even professional investors rarely manage to significantly outperform average market returns over longer periods. Many investors make the mistake of taking unnecessary risks and suffering high losses as a result. What's more important is achieving consistent returns and reaching $10,000 as early as possible with acceptable risk. Because it often takes several years before larger absolute returns become noticeable in your portfolio, many investors underestimate the power of compound interest. A great example is Warren Buffett's wealth development. Warren Buffett, now 94 years old, has a fortune of more than $130 billion, but more than 99% of that came after his 50th birthday. Buffett's success isn't just about brilliant investments, it's also about starting to invest very early. The dilemma with compound interest is that you often accumulate most of your wealth late in life, at a point when you might not even need that much money anymore. I read this often in comments. Many people want to enjoy life and not save every penny just to count their money in old age. And honestly, I completely understand that. That's why I followed this approach. Once you've saved your first $10,000, you can treat yourself a little each month. Building wealth shouldn't mean sacrificing your quality of life. A so-called fun budget of 5 to 10% of your monthly income helps maintain a good balance between living and saving. For most people with an average income, that's around $150 to $300 per month. As your wealth grows, you can gradually increase your fund budget because eventually your returns will handle most of the wealth building anyway. Of course, how much you can spend or save depends on your income level. The median gross salary in many countries puts you in the top 50% of earners if you're above that threshold. Despite this relatively good starting position, many people still can't manage to put money aside. About a third of people spend their entire monthly income and have no financial reserves at all. Statistics show that a significant portion of the population can't handle unexpected expenses of $150 or more. For those affected, this means a constant state of insecurity and stress. A financial cushion of $10,000 can significantly reduce this stress. Without this buffer, a financial disaster can happen very quickly, and often the only way out is taking a loan at very high interest rates. Debt is actually the #1 wealth killer. Households with excessive debt owe an average of over $30,000. Often, those affected aren't even at fault. Health problems, accidents, or unemployment are the most common causes. People quickly fall into a debt trap because the real problem is the high interest rate on loans. Instead of compound interest working for you, as it does in wealth building, it now works against you. Here's an example. The average effective annual interest rate for consumer loans in many countries is around 8%. Depending on how much you can pay back each month, it can take years to fully repay the debt.
Let's assume a loan of $10,000 at 8% interest. If you can only repay $100 per month, most of your payments in the first years go almost entirely toward interest. In the first month, you'd spend about $67 of your $100 payment just on interest. That means you'd only reduce your debt by $33 in the first month. It would take over 14 years to fully repay the loan. During that time, you'd pay more than $7,000 in total interest. This example shows how important it is to avoid bad debt. But $10,000 in your account doesn't just offer additional security. It also opens up new possibilities. For example, you can work on increasing your income. You can take risks like changing jobs, pursuing further education, or starting your own business without being under financial pressure. Current data also shows that higher income correlates with longer life expectancy and better health. People always strive for progress, and I've often noticed that I'm much happier when I see a positive trend in my life, even if it's just small improvements, and that's already possible with $10,000. So how would I build my first $10,000 as quickly as possible today? First, I'd get an overview of all my income and expenses. I'd follow the 50-30-20 rule. This rule says that 50% of your income should go toward living expenses like rent, 30% toward leisure and personal wants, and 20% toward savings. The problem is that many people can only save what's left at the end of the month. Unfortunately, this makes it nearly impossible to maintain a consistent savings rate. The issue is that many people only use one account. Income goes in and all expenses come out of the same place. The solution is surprisingly simple. With the two-account model, you split your money between two accounts, one for fixed expenses and one for your personal savings goals. This way, you can transfer your savings amount to a separate account right after your paycheck arrives, ensuring you don't accidentally spend it on impulse purchases. For my second account, I simply use a brokerage account, where I can also invest directly in index funds and stocks. Now there's just one more question to answer. What's the best way to invest this money to effectively build wealth? That's a topic for another video. The key takeaway is this. Those first $10,000 are the hardest to save, but also the most transformative. Once you reach them, everything accelerates. Your money starts working for you, your mindset shifts, and your financial future opens up in ways you never expected. So start today, even if it's just $50 a month. Your future self will thank you. I'd love to hear where you're at on your journey. Already hit $10,000? Still working toward it? Let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, a like would mean a lot. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.